Man, I tell you what, folks. Now, if you want to have a love song, that is the song to listen to. Poco, man. I mean, Richard Fury and company. Wow, some of the best harmonizing you will ever hear. Just a great group. Poco. So, hey, everybody, how you doing? It is on. We are here, and we are live, and man, it is good to be alive. And I don't know how this. I don't have to turn this whole caption thing. It's weird to watch it. So excuse me. Anyway, so what's up, folks? So good to see you. Favor to all of us. And I'm prospering. I know you are prospering. We are prospering. The Soul Tribe is prospering and thriving. So yeah, how's it going? Hey, Robert V, saw your video. Love the Giants, man. That's part of history. That's, it's the question that I ask, so if angels and demons exist, did they exist before man? And sending some healing out to our fellow brother, David Castle. Little stomach issues. I can dig that. I can dig it. So, hey, Rebecca, what's up? Eric, good to see you. Klaatu, good to see Emperor X. Mr. Maxwell, what's up? Deborah, good to see you. Anyway, man, I tell you what, I just really dig that group. It holds a lot of really high vibration memories. That's all I got to say. And if you've never checked out Poco, do yourself a favor. Yeah, the Legacy album is the album. So anyway, there we go. Hey, Linda, what's good to see you, Elderberry, beloved abstract. Good to see you, Scotty boy. Eye of the Maelstrom. Hello, DC Chill 99. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you for the book. Actually, Lynn sent it to me the other day, and then Arvine sent me another one. So we're going to go into this, ask and you shall receive. We're going to be getting into this book. I think it brings a whole interesting perspective. A lot of people like this book of all different backgrounds, from academics to laymen, and I think we lie somewhere in between. I'm not sure. Hey, Shannon, what's up? Philip, Colleen, hello. Good to see you. Monkey Experiment, I hope that's going well. Susie Q, Mary Flynn, good to see you. And Donna D, hello. Who else, man? It's going in there. John Christian, thank you, sir. Well, you are part of the group. That's how it's welcome. 99, I appreciate it, Lance. I really do. Rodney, good to see you. I am broken. Well, we just speak favor and abundance. That's the way it goes. Yeah, we love it. So, pulled our angel card for the day, and I am using the deck, which, if you really want these, and when we get the cards that Big Al's working on, holy crapola. So these are the spiritual cards, the 72 angels. And today I pulled, which I believe is Yahuwah. There we go. Like Isaiah, Yahuwah. And really cool sigil on this cat. These coins are really cool. I really like them. Anyway, this angel is the angel of subordination, hierarchy, and authority. Wow. Deus Omnin Cognator. Master cognition. God knowing all things. Interesting thing. It's the patron of leaders, subordinates, employees, and employers, protector of altruistic initiatives, and those who inspire others. Far out. I mean, come on. Got to give that one a high five right there, Power to the people. Brings righteousness and constructive power, and a noble standard of leadership and obedience of subordinates. Okay. We're all subordinate. That's how its system works. Teaches a sense of duty and provides the ability to collaborate easily and closely with other people in important positions. Far out. Well, thank you, Marissa. Appreciate that. Let's see. Brings appreciation, confidence, and recognition of employees. Far out. I mean, I think we got to get this one on the A team here. Teaches how to unmask traitors, and to uncover certain schemes. Wow. Hey, Martin Heidi, what's up? Give Tony a big hug for me. I like that one. Helps to recognize the divine hierarchy and allows us to understand our place in the universe. The universe is by intelligent design. That's why I don't believe in God. Now, you tell me something that's above God that can come up with that. And I tell you, it doesn't demand worship either. I digress. Symbol of cosmic order, protection from above. Bestows us with fidelity, honesty, confidence, and loyalty. Fills us with energy to foster the greatest contracts, alliances, commitments, and scientific discoveries. I'm telling you, I do believe that these angels have got things they want to talk about. It's just that not that many humans really talk to them. Well, I think it's changing. Teaches how to find solutions easily and handle high amounts of stress. Shows how to withstand high tensions and social pressures. Let go and avert confrontational situations. Provides with goodness and righteousness to the earth. I'm all for that. Heals feelings of inferiority and superiority, lack of immoral strength, liberates from perversity, rebellion, aggression, multiple desires at once, inflexibility, disdain, objection, rage, giving up, deceit. Well, there's a handful right there. You see, it proves, I think, that within us are both the angels and the demons. Otherwise, neither would exist. Tune into the Steiger perspective on that one. Helps in situations like work environment, duties, commands, dismissals, betrayals, tendency to impose your influence. Well, there you go. When is this cat available? Ideally, the best time is 10:40 to 10:59 a.m. All right. There you have it. I think this is kind of cool. I like this each day. So we'll put him back in. It sounds like a badass if you ask me. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to say any more. So, hey, wasn't it a good interview with Ryder Lee? I so enjoy that guy. I mean, that's where you get to go into the deep places. Someone was saying down the rabbit hole, and I'm going, no, we can't fit. I mean, we've now blown the damn thing up. I mean, it's a 4-lane highway going down to wherever Wonderland is. We're on our way there. Hey, Nina, the Mystic, what's happening? Thomas, good to see you. Yes, I'm pre-recording with Jen this week and we'll be airing October. And I did get your email, Nina. I'll get back to you. It's just, I'm working through it, man. I'm working my way back to you, babe. Anyway, so what else is happening? Seems like good outweighed the bad there. I think it did. Yeah, I think so as well. Hello, Michelle. It's good to see you. I can't stay today, but I wanted everybody to know I'm thinking of them. Good favor to you, my dear. Return it right back at you. Paul Joe, what's up? How it connects to the angels, isn't it? Businesses I know because I'm actually doing this. Introducing businesses to unseen advantages. Think about it. These cats give ideas, folks. It really does. And you begin to get to know them. Woo! Hey, Scotty boy, what's up? With Burning Love Inside. There you go. He finished it out. Love that song. One, two, 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 do, 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 do. When we appreciate our customers. Hey, I like that. As Stevie Nicks sung it. No speed. This is the fast lane. Suzanne, you'd be talking the truth there. I mean, boom, boom. All right. So I want to get right into this book. I hope you have your favorite beverage. Hey, Julie, what's up? Hey, Jenny, good to see you. All right. All right. So interesting how things come around in these waves of consciousness. I know Rex had a guy on here recently. I'm watching that, and where the guy was on there and he was talking about the fact that we've been taught wrong about so many things. And the topic of demons is there. Now, you know, it's interesting because there is a passage in the New Testament that says in the end times, the doctrine of demons will be taught. I wonder if that's programming, because as we're about to find out, I like the way John King puts this, and he positions it in a way that really brings science into this, and it brings the questions that we have to ask ourselves. What is the purpose of a demon? If it's outside religion, you remove that, what's the purpose then? I mean, what's it supposed to do? For that point, what is an angel supposed to do? Now, I think one of the things I have found most interesting about the study of these angels and connecting it back to my days in Christianity, very well versed with them, it was just a different perspective as to what the supposed mission was. Angels meaning messengers. And then when you step outside of mainstream doctrine and you get into the mysticism, which is basically Kabbalism and all the other different associated isms that go with that, you find out these characters are there too. The main point that he gets to, and we're going to get into it now, is this. How old are these things? Were they here before mankind? And if they were, what were they doing? What was their mission then? And how did their mission change when whoever thought of us, brought us, however they got us here, how did that impact their mission then? Were there always the duality of polarities? In other words, you take mankind out of the equation. Was there always that duality? Which would then imply that the duality of good and evil has to coexist, because if either one of them were to win, they would both lose. Now, that's interesting, because King warns that those who pursue the worship of demons, watch out. You're going to get into a hall of mirrors that you may not be able to get back out of. I think that also goes true on the other extreme. It seems to me that, as I have read, you don't want to worship these cats. Like, you know, one I really like is Poel. And Poel is, you know, I was attracted to this cat right from the beginning. But the point is, it's all right to sit down and, you know, share a hot tea, you know, cup of coffee, a joint, whatever it may be, and talk. You know? So what do you do? Well, I happen to help people like you, humans, define fortunes. Oh, really? Well, love to talk more about that. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't going to get down and kiss his ass. Hell no. It's interesting. Demons take you away from your spirit, and angel makes you come back to your spirit. That's interesting. I mean, we're going to find out. So I'll just wanted to set the stage, because if they existed before man did, then the question becomes, well, how did they get involved with man? If you take it from strictly the hermetical point of view, that we are somehow fallen in a state of fallenness, then why are those cats involved? Did we do something to change their destiny? It's interesting. So let's get right into it. Thank you again for Linz for sending, and Arvine as well. It's a good read. It really is. And we're going to read it. It's worthy of the read. So it's the 5 lectures on demonology by John R. King the fourth. It's an easy read. Number 1, he gets into the pretext of the existence of demons, the origin of demons, the identity of demons, the activity of demons, and understanding of demons. Now, if you take the point of view that if you look at the Abrahamic influence of the spell that they have on mankind, you have to question anything that's been pushed by that doctrine, because that doctrine has proven to be deadly to humans. More humans have died in the name of the Abrahamic religions than all the wars combined. I don't see how that's good. So let's just step back and maybe take a different perspective on this with an open mind, that I don't know what demons are. All right. If one's influenced me, I don't know. That's how I'm coming in. I'm going to kind of wipe the chalkboard, and I'm going to, all right. So I've got my pad and paper here. It's blank. Start talking to me. So let's get into it. Demonibus, Dector, de Demonibus, Deset, I think, et ad Demias, Decta, that's Albus Magnus. All right, like, yeah, what the hell did he say? Well, he just said, these guys, they're, they have a doctrine. Why in the world would anyone want to study demons? Great question. Indeed, it is a particular interest. Some might say an unwholesome one. Before anything else, I would say, to make plain 2 things. Number 1, this book is not meant to encourage any person to devote his or herself to demons, evil spirits, the devil, or anything else of similar nature, or any sort of antisocial behavior. And 2, this book is not meant to provide, supplement, or impose upon any sort of religious indoctrination. I like that. It's a good mission statement right up front. Having these things well in mind, those rare and unusual persons who do have a genuine interest in demonology will hopefully find this book useful. I have attempted to avoid several difficulties that have encountered by my own studies in this subject. First and foremost, it is nearly impossible to locate substantial works on demonology that fail to presuppose the spiritual beliefs of the readers. I mean, I've been bemoaning that for how long? So I love to study the old books. That's what we do here. But when are we going to start writing the new books? All right. Or, did we miss something in the knowledge, in the translation? I don't know. The number of Christian works on the subject of deliverance and spiritual warfare grows daily. And this is what's contaminated what I would say the collective consciousness of humanity. We're under a brain cloud. That's all I can say. Hello, Joe versus the volcano. And there are dozens of other sectarian works on the subject. For those outside the flock, whether from other sects or from other religions entirely, such as treists are unsupportive, discouraging, or irrelevant, I intend hereby to remedy the matter so far as I'm able to the effect that a perspective on demonology is offered without attachment to any particular religious body. I like that. Okay. This dude's cool. I mean, he's saying, man, I'm just going to give it to you in kind of, plain language. Another difficulty among the writings of demonologists is the heavy focus on scholarship. There are a large number of very fine volumes of research, each with detailed references to source materials available for study. I do not intend to add to this number or to create anything of value to the academic community. This book is intended for what may be considered intelligent laity, capable of understanding a subject without tiresome references to obscure literature. Right on, brother. Go. That's all I got to say. I consider myself to have a fairly thorough grasp of the subject, and he is. He's one of the more, I think, premier demonologists. But what I say may at times appear to be a matter of conjecture or personal bias. I concede that such may be the case, as I write this to be informative rather than authoritative. If any reader should desire lectures from a stuffy academic or from a fanatical demonic zealot, then these things are available cheaply elsewhere. Obsession with demons is dangerous. When one abandons ordinary enjoyments for the sake of arcane truths, the quality of life dwindles. That's true about a lot of things. Take care not to fall prey to such foolishness, and read this work for the sake of understanding or for enjoyment, so that your life continues and grows prosperous. The existence of demons. Okay, I'm ready. Actually, I got my cheat notes right here. You see, I've already got it all laid out. Anyway, I propose to demonstrate herein that demons exist in a way that can be understood and accepted by any reasonable person. In this age, it is very common for the average person to disbelieve in spirits and the supernatural. Charlatans have been exposed. Authoritative scientists have resolved most natural mysteries with math and physics, and medicine has investigated most illnesses. The ordinary person requires no mystic guru or sanctimonious pontiff to declare the secrets of nature, as the understanding provided by the current scientific orthodoxy is for him sufficient. There is an overwhelming public outcry against superstition and irrationality. Whenever someone advertises miracles for sale, hey buddy, got $1, they are denounced as frauds, and whatever a basic explanation for common pains becomes too complicated, suspicions are immediately raised. This is a tremendous advance from previous ages and should be applauded, despite the fact that so many continue to be seduced by peddlers of nonsense. There are times, usually during spats of trouble, where religious fervency takes hold. Since the average priest or popular yogi does not profess the ability to perform or provide miracles, the public views on such figures tends to be mild tolerance. These people are looked upon as marketers of morality, which is acceptable so long as it is one step removed from the supernatural. Want no spooky stuff in here. Get that supernatural crap out the door. I digress. Yet among skeptics and materialists, there is disdain for the entire subject of spirituality. For these, faith is replaced by physics, morality is replaced by the law. Due to popularity of these ideas, spirituality is considered mere fantasy and demonology as backward medievalism. On the contrary, spirituality and its satellite of demonology has been important to humanity for many thousands of years. Despite assumptions that rationality is relatively new and that current scientific studies have somehow elevated mankind above superstition, there have always been those who took a dim view of spirits. The issue has been debated without resolution for millennia, and these meager pages will do little to abate the conflict. I mean, today, our society is devoid of soul. It has no soul. The overall impression is that we are in a transition of humanism. And humanism, particularly transhumanism, ain't got no time for that spirit stuff, you know? Well, we intend to change that. Because there are the real ones, you know, we know that. It should be enough to say that the interest of skeptics is laudable, and that there are indeed many people who prey upon the credulous, and that these should be stopped or impeded. It should also go without saying that science has brought many great advances in spite of ignorant superstitions. It is unfortunately not enough to say these things, and a rational case must be made for the spirit, lest universities become the seat of a new inquisition. Well, the last one didn't turn out so well. Face it, folks, if you and I were around in the Inquisition, we were most likely hanging, or how should we say, impaled onto a stick. Barbecue, baby. First, understand that the word spirit is used to denote a conscious and immaterial entity, which is individual and unique for each person. Of these, immateriality is of chief importance as it precludes the possibility of proof by current laboratory standards. We will never locate and dissect the soul, as it is not composed of any substance that can be subjected to tools and procedures as we know them. This is not to say that the spirit must be believed in as a matter of faith. Unfortunately for the skeptics, denial of the existence of the spirit grows more untenable with every major advance in biology. Each new examination of the body, every revelation about the brain has, as shown below, fortified the conclusion that there must be somehow a spirit beyond the flesh. The body has been demonstrated to be highly complex, yet ultimately mechanistic. Our nerves react to change in polarity. These are in turn regulated by chemicals. Remember the 5, 3, and 2? 3 chemical, 2 electrical. From basic bodily functions to the highest aspirations of the intellect, it is demonstrated time and again that the body is a masterpiece of carbon-based machinery. We are AI. Every form of activity, barring none, has an observable and demonstrable basis in physical structures. The brain may be mysterious, but scientists are fully confident that everything we think, feel, and know are contained and processed in millions of cells and their reactions to purely material chemicals. For many scientists, this knowledge is the defeat of spirituality, a final demonstration that people consist of nothing more than matter. Such is not the case. Rather, this knowledge is further indication that people are empowered by a force beyond any material body or any apparatus therein. This force is the spirit. Every person has the ability to make choices. Granted, these choices are limited by circumstance, and they are encouraged or discouraged by bodily signals. But the ability to choose and the making of choices is separate from the directives of the physical body. If it were not so, every action from walking across the floor to composing sheet music would be nothing more than a robotic fulfillment of material demands created within the brain by mindless chemicals. Even the most stupid individual has the sense to realize he's not a robot, compelled in every action beyond the hope of voluntary effort to the contrary. Indeed, a person may suffer a lapse of the will, but not its absence. The more firmly it is established that the body works according to mechanical principles, the further the individual will or imperative appears from such constrictions. The spirit, being immaterial, is not necessarily in the body, but it is quite obviously not controlled by it. The simplest random voluntary action demonstrates beyond all reasonable doubt that the organic composition of the body has no power over the individual will, except as a powerful and intimate suggestion. Like if you got to pee. Because if your body's got to pee, your spirit is going to yield. Someone said, now I got to go to the bathroom. That's all right. The entity responsible for the execution of the will, the spirit, is not physical, nor is it to be identified with any natural energy or other observable physical body. The same principle applied to the body works here, where if one is not motivated by purely biological urges, the prompting of weather, sunlight, the subtle energy fluctuations would have even less effect. The spirit is not a part of nature. It is supernatural. It is the supernatural upon which the study of demonology is founded. I want to take a break right here because that's interesting. This is one of the very few places I have ever read this. The spirit is not a part of nature. Well, I mean, you can't let that just simply go, yeah, sure, buddy. That's pretty far out, man. Yeah, well, so what else in that? The spirit is not part of nature. That to me was a epiphanical moment. The epiphany just went off on me when I read this, and I read this over the weekend. And I actually you can actually see, I wrote a note on it because it struck me right there. The spirit is not part of nature. That to me is so significant that, well, it'll play a role in here. It said, again, it is the supernatural upon which the study of demonology is founded. Now we have a foundation that it is spirit. It's not part of nature, but it is definitely supernatural, meaning that it's natural in its composite, but its overall makeup, baby, we are superfly. A solid scientific proof of the human soul or spirit is not required in order to hold a reasoned belief in the subject, unless one believes that human will is a byproduct of neurochemistry. It is not unreasonable to believe in the spirit. Such a belief on its own does not require acceptance of any particular religious doctrine. It doesn't. To the majority of people in the world, the idea that people have a spirit is nothing new, shocking, or incredible. To the staunch skeptic, however, this belief is mere nonsense. In order that the study of demons not be relegated to the academic glory as it has become of late, or considered a subject of pure archaeological interest, it is necessary to make a rational case for the existence of spirits. It is neither possible nor necessary to make such a case fortified by laboratory demonstration. For those who demand such a thing before making a serious inquiry to demonology, there is little hope. The existence of voluntary action as such is the single most important way in which the subject of the souls enter into demonology. And this is the extent to which one must assert the existence of the spirit in order to fully pursue the subject. While the soul is popularly conceived as a vaporous entity, somehow connected to a divine, otherworldly existence, its exact nature or composition is irrelevant to demonology. The activity of the spirit, the exertion of the will, however, is of primary importance. It is the government of the will, not the substance of its origin, which will form the basis of this exposition. The reader should realize that every thought has its root in the brain. Knowledge of the meaning of these words, the processing of their images into ideas, the act of considering these ideas are all measurable within the brain. These material effects and all other parts of thinking are mechanical efforts executed by a sophisticated human instrument. Behind the thoughts, however, there is a thinker, the spirit. I love that. When I die, going up to the spirit in the sky. Going up to the thinker, huh? Yeah, I can dig that. It is difficult to directly conceive of the spirit as a living entity that is not separate from the individual. The spirit does not have thoughts or feelings, as these are physical artifacts within the material body. It does not act without these things, but through them. And through the brain, the spirit obtains its knowledge. I love it. What is that saying? The spirit obtains its knowledge. It tells me that we ain't all on, it's not this participation trophies. No, there are different spirits with different knowledge, different levels of knowledge. No doubt, different rankings. The spirit is accustomed to acting upon the promptings of the body and is bound to perform actions within its capacity. The extent of this interaction and its possible limitations is unknown, but it is sufficient to understand that the soul is the true person and not a separate creature. The supposition of a true will or spiritual persona has led many people to erroneously assume that the inner self is somehow different or better than the personality. The two are inseparable. And while choices may be made in error or ineffectively, the action of the spirit through the brain and body is genuine. There is no real, quote unquote, person dwelling within, possessing superior knowledge and motives, or enjoying some sort of existence. The influence of the spirit as the will is more than that of a disembodied executive agency. There is a consciousness of which this spirit partakes, weighing input of information and deciding upon a course of action. Choosing what to think about requires some form of thought, and once made, this choice is undeniable when made by the spirit. This quality does not exist in ordinary thoughts, where a person may choose to think about one thing and find that distractions intrude unceasingly. With ordinary thoughts, a person may conceive of himself as capable, while such thoughts are only a ruse designed to promote sufficient confidence for effective actions. With the spirit, the decision to act and to use the proper motivational thoughts to provoke such actions in the body are outside the organic elements of the process. Wow. I can be having this conversation with Trina and Jenny and Nina, the rest of them. This is deep stuff, folks. The thoughts of the spirit are absolute. Wow. Since the issue of the will is of importance to demonology, it is worth the emphasis of the point given here. There is a distinction that must be made between the influence of the brain thinking and that of the absolute thought, which is an effect of the spirit. Without such a clear distinction, the entire subject of demonic influences can never be adequately grasped. Wow. I mean, that you have to just stop and go over this again. There is a distinction that must be made between the influence of the brain thinking. It's almost like he's saying that this is kind of almost on automatic. You know, you're always going to have distractions taking you there. But then he brings in, but it's not just the brain thinking that's being influenced, it's the absolute thought. And he's obviously parenthesized this, that this is important, the absolute thought, which again goes up to the previous paragraph that says the thoughts of the spirit are absolute. So if we added the top, the thoughts of the spirit are absolute, and they are of the absolute thought, which is an effect of the spirit. Without such a clear distinction, the entire subject of demonic influences can never be adequately grasped. This is some deep stuff, man. How many of you feel like you're rolling on this thing, going, all right, it's like, wow. This is knowledge. This is Gnosticism of, that you're not going to find out there in a great abundance. Why? Because most people are going to reject it when they see the title. Like, what the hell? Demonology? I ain't listening to that crap. And we wish them, all the best. But we are. Because if I can grasp this and begin to internalize it, then I have a better understanding of the spirit realm overall. I mean, remember Ephesians 6:12, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, with dominions, and I can just go on. Well, then who the hell are those people? Well, we're about to find out. Unfortunately, there is little certainty in making this important distinction. The spirit is elusive, and no way exists by which one can hope to pin down its activity or relate it to any specific function of a person. What? The spirit is elusive. Folks, that means we got wide open places. I mean, the inside, and at some point, we're no longer in the inside, we're going to the outside. If y'all can dig what I'm saying. The spirit is elusive. No way exists by which one can hope to pin down its activity or relate to it in any specific function of a person. Wow. I mean, you ever had rice cakes? I mean, the ones that kind of just explode in your mouth. I mean, it's like taking a bite of something and you don't have room enough because it's just expanding. It is best understood as the agency of choice, but this is not specific to any particular sort of choosing. Whether one makes supposedly important choices or purely trivial ones, it is not the task of the spirit to differentiate, but only to participate in the act of choosing. Wow. Makes one more look at themselves as a god, does it not? I mean, this is God stuff. I mean, come on. This is higher realm stuff. not just this density here. In determining conduct, a person is bound in several ways to circumstances apparently beyond control. The condition and location of the body limit the available options for any sort of activity. Additionally, each person carries with him or her many years' worth of memories that can alter the judgment of what is appropriate. Whereas it is popular to conceive of some acts as spiritual and others as mundane. Such is not the case, and the spirit acts equally in either situation. The differentiation between one sort of a thing and another is a side effect of the perspective one has gained from existing at a particular place in time, and of the condition of the mind and body. The spirit does not have any greater knowledge than that which the body provides. Though it may be in error to declare that the spirit inhabits the body, rather it appears to operate the body as one drives a car. There's a thought. We're inside the car, aren't we? Love the allegory here. It is restricted to taking its cues from which the senses and the intellect provide. The intellectual capacity of the individual is purely a mechanical effort of a healthy brain, and its every motive is provided by basic chemical reactions. When one feels the inclination to create something beautiful or to destroy it, the motivation for such an act is biological in origin, and the spirit is involved only in the execution, the executive authorization of the act. I love that. Man, it kind of gives you a whole different perspective on your spirit, doesn't it? I mean, we're all CEOs, aren't we? Yeah, I make those, I gave that executive authorization. Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to kiss my ring? Oh, excuse me, you want to kiss my ring? What? You want to kiss my ass? No, this is me talking. No, yeah. I love that. The spirit is involved only in the executive authorization of the act. I love it. It may be argued that the spirit has no need to learn or grow, as knowledge and development are essentially biological reactions. Changes in life strategy that stem from experience relate to the experiences of the body, whether to seek pleasure or to avoid pain. When the intellect has understood some act of having led to either of these, a causal relationship is established and new strategies are formed. It is not the spirit that grows, but the memory and the inclusion of new options for the arrangement of desires. This book, I mean, it is, there it is. Again, it is not the spirit that grows, but the memory and the inclusion of new options for the arrangement of desires. Wow. This is some deep meditating stuff here. Certain types of desire have been overwhelmingly approved or rejected by general consensus. It is, for example, mostly universally unacceptable to smash one's own face with a rock for no apparent reason. If you saw someone doing that, you'd go, that person ain't right, something wrong. This option exists almost everywhere and for everyone, yet it has been determined to be detrimental to health and of no value. Consequently, the desire to perform this simple self-abasement does not often appear in any culture. I mean, how do I get in? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to take this rock and then just smash your face with it. You're going to go, excuse me? Most activities have a debatable value. From one perspective, feeding the homeless is a good and noble act, whereas from another perspective, it perpetrates depravity. One person might view a permissive attitude towards child rearing as a good thing, but to others, it's terrible. It is the difference of biological experience that have given rise to these different perspectives. Some have found a particular action to lead toward pain, and others have found it to lead towards pleasure. Yeah, that's why the whole thing about hell doesn't make sense, because you got some people, which we call masochists, that dig pain. Anything that brings pain. So if you were to put them in an afterlife where it was pain, they're in heaven. Just saying. A great deal of the categorization of what leads to pain or pleasure becomes the subject of religion. That's what religion's all about. Pain, pleasure, reward, punishment. That's how it works. Every religion prescribes to a set of values and customs to which are attached warnings or words of encouragement. Adherence to philosophies and practices of religion are promoted as being closely tied to rewards and consequences. When a large number of people agree with a perspective and put it into use, it becomes a cultural norm. Many such beliefs and practices have arisen from religious teachings, but are to be encountered among even non-religious citizens. This in itself is a large subject worthy of investigation, but for the purpose of demonology, it is sufficient to recognize that these norms and values are not inherently spiritual. It is commonly assumed that the primary objective of evil spirits is to dissuade the general public from participating in religious activities, or to persuade people to act in a manner contrary to religion-inspired cultural norms. Frequently, one will encounter those who view ordinary personal vices or bad behaviors as demonic obsessions. Sex is one. Yeah. All religions. They deify sex, but boy, they elevate it too, don't they? The entire strategy of demons to these is that of moving individuals into purposes contrary to those promoted by the religious authorities. This perspective is found in Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and many other religions, though it is not universal in all of these faiths. The influence of demons is not such as would promote any particular sort of material activity. The fact that some actions violate established principles of good taste, moral righteousness, or personal benefit does not make these actions any more or less relevant to the activity of the spirit. The strategy by which one makes his or her way through life is accomplished in the material world. It is done by material means, and its effect is to bring joy or pain to material bodies. The influence of demons is instead upon the spirit, affecting the ability to make one's own choices, and not the particular form these choices may take. Whoa. It is rare, if it is even possible, that a person will take any sort of action for a purpose that is truly altruistic or destructive. Where there is some apparent benefit to another, the one doing the deed takes home at least a sense of satisfaction at having done well for another. When there is some malicious deed, it is concomitant to the broader necessity or of some personal urge which would presumably create trouble if left unfulfilled. No matter what is done, the goodness or badness of any specific action is a matter of perspective. Oh, we get into this. Y'all know that what you can do, expand out on that one, because we've all lived it. Yeah. All right. So, as you continue to peel the onion back, you're going, all right, so what is the purpose then of this demon? I mean, if you got no religious motivation in this, then what's the purpose? I don't know. I do know, but there are many actions for which one can find no good purpose, and many things which would appear noble. The majority of such deeds require the cooperation of circumstances to endorse their value or lack thereof. Regardless of the nature of an action, unless pure accident, it is done on purpose. What purpose is valid or permissible is not for the scope of this study to address, but it is enough to make plain the fact that anything done is done as a result of a spiritual will to accomplish something. I love that. That goes in exactly what we're doing as this group experiment, that it's the same thing. Everything that happens in the material realm had to start in the spiritual realm. It seems that it cannot physically materialize of its own inertia, that there has to be a force that starts the reaction, so to speak. I love that. It is not important whether one considers a particular kind of behavior as good or even permissible, but it is important to be able to choose what one wishes to do. This is not to say that one should be free to do as one pleases despite consequences. Rather, it is to say that a person makes individual decisions to act, whether they know the consequences or not, without prescribing value to any act or to its effect. There is a universal value appended to the ability to determine the course of action one will take. Again, without any individual ability to determine the activities of the body, the thoughts in the brain, a person is a mere puppet, a zombie, a slave. These descriptions are, of course, not meant to be taken literally. They are metaphorical, but the effect is similar to any of them. Regardless of what sort of action one permits, the ability to make choices for him or herself is to be valued as good. Even if one were to value the abandonment of choice, relief from desire, the ability to make such a choice and to maintain it is of assured value. To be denied the ability to make decisions is nowhere viewed as a worthy goal. For this reason, the influence of demons may be considered evil. It is not to say that they provoke any particular action which may be called evil, to hurt others or to encourage avarice or depravity, but to acknowledge that their influence is contrary to exercise of the spirit. The work of demons is that of enslaving the souls of mankind. Demons are hell-bent on exerting their power over the interior will of an individual, seeking ever to control not of their own accord, but through the voluntary submission of others. In their effort to dominate the souls of the world, they have been exceedingly successful, and for this reason, the subject of demonology remains important as a survey of those tactics employed by the spiritual enemies of all intelligent life. What a perfect segue. So we'll get into the origins tomorrow. This is not for everybody, I know. But I'm telling you, those who do listen and those who get into the material, fascinating. It's telling a story that maybe, we should consider. Has the battle already been fought? Is the war over? Are we just seeing the cause and effect of the result of this takeover? Don't know. We'll find out more tomorrow. What sells better? Lucky Stone says, fear or sex? Maybe it's the fear of sex. Both, but I would probably say sex. I mean, how many people have been, let's say, having coitus with someone else's husband or someone else's wife and got caught in the act? Yeah. So I don't know. Thanks, Nina. You got your show today, the Hump Day show. I think it's 7 o'clock. New Paul's Clark, why is procreation becomes less capable in the future? It's not only because it's a waste of mechanical effort from a higher order of beings, as well as the XY chromosome differential that takes place. There's a lot to this. There is a lot to this. I mean, if they existed before we did, I mean, what I'm reading here, and by the way, don't make all your decisions. He's going to get more into this, but it would appear that there was a war and we were the booty. It's interesting. You look at the past popes, you know, Pope Leo the 13th, you know, the one that had to be exorcised of the demon. The Exorcist, which was a story that took place in St. Louis, Missouri. I have seen these creatures, but excellent, Al. Excellent. No pause. I don't. Yeah, I see it exactly. Well, thank you there, Scotty boy. It's interesting stuff. It's very interesting because it will impact your dreams. At least it is mine, because it starts opening up a whole different perspective. What I am seeing is like there is this door that is virtually invisible to most people. But as you get a glimpse, you suddenly see how it's blended in to the wall. And once you open this door, you're finding out that you're looking at where you are coming from looking in, but you're going, well, wait a minute. You're actually looking out. It's weird. All right, folks, let's see. Oh, she's going to go live at 1 p.m. So excuse me. That's in about an hour. So there you go. What if humans are just toys? Francis, there has been more than one that has thought of that. We are the Sims, right? I mean, that's what it really comes down to. And we're going to get more into it. Robert V, it's like that. Yeah, you can only be a virgin once, right? Just once. That's what they say. These are only one war, the war between your story of the self and the other ones of the story of the self. Yeah. Yeah, I think, Lucky, I think you're right. That's, I think, why they do work with us, is because we are entertaining, you know? Martin Heidi said, I can see that when people get real angry, I can see a demon. Watch Biden. Watch what happens. Biden is possessed, by the way. I'm just telling you right now, he is possessed. But watch what happens when he gets angry. Yet you want to talk about some shape shifting? All right, everybody, unless you're a Virgo. Serendipity crowned eye. Indeed. And I guess maybe if you're a Gemini, you know, maybe you have two things. Thanks, Jules. Hey, we just bring out just a different way of looking at things. And that's why we do this. Someone says, well, why do you read these stuff? And I'm going, well, number one, because reading is fun. It's fundamental. There's a lot of people who listen. They don't watch. And there are other people who enjoy just listening. So we share that. David Cass says, if you learn to keep an open mind, you give yourself more options to choose from, and you give your brain. Oh, yes, indeed, David, you got that right. Always remember your heritage. I'm still trying to find it. Okay, everybody, much love to you. Make sure to tune into Nina's show here in the next hour, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. We're going to pick up right where we left off. This is a good book. It's an easy read, but is it powerful or what? All right. Peace out. Much love to you all. Thank you. It's just an honor to be here each day with y'all. It really is. I love y'all, man. Y'all just so cool. Wow, I have found fondness for insects who have no real thoughts. Do my angels see me as a primitive sweet pearl? You know, Susan over at Blue Bunny Bottle Farm, she did a little video on the wisdom of bugs. Check it out. All right, folks, much love to you. See y'all tomorrow.